Yo, what's good? This is Casey for L King Self for Life Wrestling Takes, and you're now watching Casey for L Wrestling Takes Show. Alright, we back, KCVL King Self for Life Wrestling Takes family. This your boy KCVL King Self for Life, ready to talk about the fallout of Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. Now, I ain't gonna lie, in a way I was kind of excited, but I should have knew better. Knowing that Vince was back and Triple H not giving a crap, I should have knew that the Raw after WrestleMania was gonna be dog crap. Now, I'll say this, maybe several segments on this show I actually didn't mind, but I can say, how many times I come on here to tell you, Monday Night Raw is too long, ladies and gentlemen. The reason why so many people be saying the show is so freaking boring is because they tried to put so much into a 3-hour show that makes absolutely no sense. Word on the street is that they only had up to at least 32 minutes of wrestling in the 3-hour show. And a lot of people say, well, a lot of people was tired of WrestleMania. I'm like, look here, it's a wrestling show. I get it. This is the new chapter. This is the chapter after WrestleMania. This is a new season. We're supposed to start fresh, right? Listen, I mean, look at his face. This is basically everybody's reaction who wanted this man to win last night. On Sunday night. Y'all knew he wasn't winning. I told y'all from the jump. The storyline told you that the man wasn't winning. People gonna say, well, he struggled enough. He tore his pec. He was white hot. That was the perfect time. Nope. I told you. It didn't matter who you put up in there. He wasn't going over, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. I know y'all wanted this fool to win so bad. He was not going over. So let's go ahead and talk about what the clown happened on Monday Night Raw. So we had Triple H come right off the jump. Joined right there out there at the crib in LA. Came out there, greeted the fans. The fans went nuts. He told everybody, pretty much basically said that everything is fine and we're not going anywhere and everything is going to be great. Pretty much just lying to the fans as always. And so he said, right now, let's get ready to acknowledge our tribal chief, the man who retained last night at WrestleMania, Roman Reigns. And Roman, Solo, and the wise man, Paul Heyman, came running out there. They came out. He greeted both of them. They got into the ring. Listen, I ain't going to lie. I stood up. The man did what he had to do on Sunday night. And before I continue, WWE Hall of Famer, one of the Bushwhackers, had passed away. I didn't watch them back in the day, but I could tell you this. I do remember them pulling up on Family Matters. I remember Family Matters did an episode of them dealing with wrestlers, and I remember them being on that episode. I remember them doing all of that. So like I said, I did not watch that era that they was in, but I do, like I said, I'm familiar with the young man, and it's unfortunate that the dude, passed on, but it is what it is. Like I said, prayers goes out to his brother and his family and all of that. But back to business. So they get in the ring, and as soon as they get ready to start talking, Roman talk about Los Angeles, acknowledge me. And as soon as he about ready to get the fans to acknowledge him, Cody Rhodes' music erupts, hits, comes out there, gets it to that man's face, and demands a rematch. Paul Heyman says, "We're not giving you no rematch. You crazy to say. We beat the snot out of you." And he was up there talking about, I had you beat, but you had to cheat and all this crazy stuff. And I deserve a rematch and everything. I'm like, listen, the playing fields was even, ladies and gentlemen. Last I checked, he had Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn come out there to run the Usos out. So it was an even playing field. Everybody was cheating. Cody was cheating. Roman and them was cheating. It was an even playing field, ladies and gentlemen. So we're not going to play that game. So they said, no, how about we do this? How about you go get somebody that was actually on the WrestleMania card, and we have ourselves a tag team match in the main event. Solo and Roman versus you and whoever. And right before Cody spoke, Brock Lesnar's music hit. And I ain't going to lie, I was like, wait a minute. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't see it. I did not see Brock Lesnar coming out. But you got to remember, this is Vince McMahon and Triple H working simultaneously. Because a lot of people just want to throw this on Vince. I'm like, no, sir, we're not going to do this. We ain't giving Triple H no pass over here. Y'all clowns out here in the IWC be giving that fool so many passes because y'all be D-riding them so much. Y'all D-ride Triple H so much it don't even make no sense. We not giving them a pass because this circus clown behind came out there, did all that foolishness, and now we ready to go ahead and say, no, this is all Vince McMahon. No, sir. No, sir. This is Triple H and Vince McMahon simultaneously. I didn't think about this, right? But I knew. I said, dang well Brock going to end up beating the brakes off of me. And I wasn't even thinking about this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a recap, or we're redoing the storyline of Fruity Pebbles dealing with Brock Lesnar after he lost to The Rock at WrestleMania 28, which is 2012. Y'all remember he lost to The Rock, quote unquote, lost to a Samoan. Come to Monday Night Raw, and guess what happened? Brock Lesnar beat the brakes off of him, so you knew it was coming. And Brock came out there, he acted like he was buddy, and he was like, hey, so you seen the look on Roman Reigns' face, like, oh no. Like, I got to deal with this clown. I thought I was finished with this circus clown. I thought I was done. So, Roman just looked uneasy and like, I'm tired of this food and all this stuff. Paul Heyman with the doggone facial expressions and all this crazy stuff. So, Brock come up in there. He grabbed Cody. He hugged him. They high five. Buddy. I'm like, Cody, you know dang well not to trust this goofy looking clown. You already know the game with him. You know not to trust Brock Lesnar. You already know. You know where this is going to end. You already know. So that's the first segment. So after the first segment, I believe we got Omos versus Elias. A complete waste of time. I mean, what you expect? Elias got beat down by Omos. You missed absolutely nothing. So, after the segment, I believe they showed the Usos. Yeah, the Usos was backstage, and they was going to knock on the door because they wanted to holler at Roman. Paul Heyman pulls up and said, "Oh, fellas, Roman stepped out. Him and Solo, they talking about their main event tonight. What do you want?" They said, "We just want to holler at Big Oos." Well, Big Oos has something for you. He wants you to go get the jet ready. You got the seafood on there. Everything is all set up. He said, that's what you need you to do. Ladies and gentlemen, they're teasing the end of the bloodline, or at least Jimmy and Jay leaving. It's set up because you can see that look in their eyes that Roman don't want nothing to do with them no more. They lost their tag team titles. They're irrelevant to him. They're in the island of irrelevancy, as Paul Heyman always say. So they're teasing that. So I was cool with that. I didn't have a problem with that. So then we go to Kathy Kelly, who was outside. They did a recap of the Hall of Fame ceremony and everything. And she was talking to Bad Bunny, who will be the host of WrestleMania Backlash, which will be taking place in Puerto Rico. So we get ready. Rey Mysterio comes out, And as he comes out, he talks to the fans. He thanks everybody. Just thank you, all this stuff. Thank you. And as he started thanking you, this is when Austin Theory drove his tail on out there, talking foolishness. Talk about the only thing me and you have in common is that we actually handled the business at WrestleMania, but outside of that, next thing you know, it turned into a match. So I'm sitting up saying to myself, well, you already know. Ray not winning. Ray is not winning. So got to where they needed to get to. Looked like Ray was going to win. Next thing you know, Dominic and Damian Priest came out there, screwed everything up. So, and that's what caused Austin Theory to retain. So then, as soon as that situation was done, you seen Dominic and Damian Priest looking at Bad Bunny. And I said, okay. I said, we know where this is going. We know we getting ready to get Ray and Bad Bunny versus Dominic and Damian Priest, but we got to come up with the story or whatever. And so Dominic go over there messing with that man. They start talking back and forth in Spanish and everything. He say something. He's like, I ain't trying to do nothing, man. I'm just trying to enjoy the show, man. And then he say something to him. And then he say something smart back at him in their language or whatever. And then Dominic tried to steal off of him. That man said, no, sir. He laid that fool out. So then that's when Damian Priest came in. And that's when the crowd was like, oh, snap. Y'all remember back at WrestleMania 37, Damian Priest and Bad Bunny are homeboys. They homeboys. That's his guy. And you could clearly see the tension, like, yo, man. Like, he was like, bruh, come on now. Now, you know what we did in the past, man. You know dang well not to touch my little boy, my little brother right here. You my man Ace. But you know dang well not to put your hands on my guy. And he stood up and said, man, the man can't start it with me. What you expect, man? What you expect? So then that's when Dominic got right back in his face and he laid him out again. And this time, Damian Priest pulled him out from the audience and everything. And listen, it was on from there. And they was going back and forth, barking at each other and all that stuff. And then that was it. Damian Priest basically destroyed Bad Bunny, beat the brakes off of him, and slammed it through the announce table. And I said, once again, Ray and Dominic got me interested in their story. I said, ladies and gentlemen, it's about the freaking story. And you know Bad Bunny and Damian Priest got history because they homeboys. I said, this is one thing that I like is, can you tell me a story? Now look, Vince McMahon listen, I'm gonna play it by ear. I'm gonna say Triple H this was Triple H right here. This was Triple H situation, like I said, because both of them was booking this show. It wasn't just Vince McMahon. It was Triple H too. Both of them is at fault. Everybody just want to say it's Vince McMahon's fault. No, sir, we're going to jack up Triple H too. Because Triple H was putting out a whole bunch of garbage episodes of Raw. He was putting out a whole bunch of garbage pay-per-views. So we're not finna sit up here and get that fool to pass. But this right here, I'm going to say that this is Triple H booking. And I'm going to give him props on this because it has my attention. You must get my attention. If you want something to be decent, at least get my attention. And it has stories. So I said I actually like this. I didn't have a problem with the situation. So then they gave a recap of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn winning. So then this is when you see Adam Pearce talking to Damian. He said, man, why did you do this stupid stuff with Bad Bunny? He said, what you think, man? He said, yeah. Now, could you imagine if that dude wasn't my guy, if he wasn't my brother? You would have been real upset if I would have done something more. I would have done something worse to him or something like that. So then this is when Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn come out and they greet the fans, and fans are going nuts. They chant and they're going nuts and all this crazy stuff. So then they basically give out an open challenge. They say, hey, we said we're going to be fighting champions. We're going to put these championships on the line. If anybody in the back want to come on out and give us a shot, come on. Sami Zayn mentioned something about Johnny Knoxville, who was trolling the mess out that man. That man was at Mania, and he was hating hard on Sami. So they still keeping the beef going between Johnny Knoxville and Sami for whatever reason. So as they talk to the fans, next thing you know, Street Profits come out. And I said, well, it makes perfect sense because Street Profits did win the showcase match, which automatically guaranteed them a tag team shot. So they came out. They did the little shucking and jiving stuff with the cups and all this crazy stuff. Yeah, I said it. They did all the buck dancing with the cups and all that dumb stuff. Got out there, said what they had to say. They said they want a shot. We're out here in L.A. You want to put out. And speaking of L.A., they actually acknowledged them. For people who are not familiar with the revamped version of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, it's called Bel-Air. It's on Peacock. 3 of the stars was there. It was the one that plays Will. the one that played Jazz and the one that played Carlton. They were sitting front row. I said kudos to my guys because that show was great. I've been watching. Season 2 has been great. Season 1 was excellent. Season 2 is great, and they actually picked up a season 3, which is awesome. So them 3 were sitting front row. So they got up in there. They had a match with them. This was a pretty solid match, but you already know what's gonna happen. Street Profits basically got destroyed. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn beat the brakes off of them. They got a couple of licks in, and from there you already know nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I'm asking myself, okay, so what are we gonna do with Street Profits? All right, so they went up for the titles, and now what? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But that, again, this is how they do. This is what they book. I told you, everybody wanted them to win the tag team titles. Now look, now what? Are you happy? You got your moment. Everybody got the moment you wanted. You wanted them to win the tag team titles. Now what? Nothing. So now we go on. They gave a recap of Logan Paul and Seth Rollins. Now this segment was real silly. I get it. The man is over like a mug. And yes, Seth Rollins definitely is the modern day Randy Savage, y'all. Just look at how he dress. He don't wear the hat, but he wear the sunglasses. He wear the weird black and white coats and just weird outfit, just crazy, extra flamboyant, and I mean just crazy. This man just comes out, before he came out, he cut a promo backstage about what he did to Logan Paul and all this stuff, and he walked out there and he just embraced the crowd, and they sang the song "Whoa," and then he went to the back, and I asked myself, what the heck was that? What was it for? No, nothing. Just absolutely nothing. I said, man, this is stupid. This is retarded. But, again, what do you expect? What do you expect when you got 2 bozos sitting back there that just be doing anything? So, then we get Bobby Lashley. He just looked distraught. Listen, man. Again. I tell y'all all the time, man. Just because we on the show, that don't mean that we're going to be booked right. I told you, people be getting carried away about their representation stuff. You might as well just throw that trash out in the trash because it means absolutely nothing. Bobby was interviewed about him not being able to get an opportunity at WrestleMania, even though he did have that dumb man, jobber, Andre Battle Royal trophy and all this stupid stuff. And he said, hey, it's all good. Hey, so but I could go crash and beat the brakes off of somebody right now. So then as he's talking, Bronson Reed came out the woodwork. And he told him, like, hey, man, let's go ahead. Let's run it back and let's do some stuff. I was sitting up there saying to myself, you could have had a matchup sitting right there. You could have had Bobby versus Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed would have got his eyes, or people would have got their eyes on him at the main show. And more people would actually understand who is this Bronson Reed character. Bobby would have put him over. And then now you can establish Bronson Reed. But you know Vince McMahon don't care nothing about no Bronson Reed. You know he don't. So then as he walked off, next thing you know, Ali came running out of nowhere with this court jester gimmick that he trying to run, this peace and positivity gimmick, whatever it is. And he told him, he said, hey, man, I know you didn't get a matchup at WrestleMania, and I know you didn't do this, and I know you didn't do that, but, hey, how about you find somebody to beat the brakes off of? And Bobby said, that's a great idea. How about I beat the brakes off of you? And he's like, oh, I shouldn't have opened up my mouth. That's exactly what happened. Started beating the brakes off him, dragged him all the way out to the arena, and did the almighty clutch, or whatever you call that move. I call it the Chris Masters move. Y'all remember Chris Masters used to do that finish or whatever. That's basically it was nothing. It was absolutely nothing, man. Nothing. Beat that man like 1, 2, 3 matches over. Yeah, he put the hurt lock on. Thank you. So then we get Bianca. Bianca comes out. Bianca was coming out. So then they went to the back, and then they showed Roman and Solo talk about what they get ready to do and all this stuff, and looking like they just ready to manhandle. But the man still Roman looked like he was bothered. He just looked bothered, like, I thought I buried this clown Brock. I thought I buried him at Summer Joke. He should be done. I should be done with him. I should not be dealing with him no more. So that was that. So Bianca come out there, and she came out to a neutral crowd because a lot of people wanted Asuka to win. A lot of people wanted her to get her moment. And I'm telling you right now, I personally believe Oscar should have went over. I think that was the right call to have Oscar go over. But because of that young lady, the little girl who lost her mother, I think that was the only reason why they said, no, we're going to have Bianca go 3-0. And it's unfortunate. I mean, so they did not go King Mike's route. They did. They had her come out there, pander to the crowd, and she talked about how she made it. She said Asuka was a worthy opponent. She was one of the most dangerous opponents she's ever faced at WrestleMania. We got to give her props and all this stuff and doing all that, right? She talked about that she the toughest. You know the whole lingo that Bianca do. Next thing you know, Rhea Ripley come out the woodwork. I said, oh snap! I said, are they teasing a unification matchup? Is that where we going, or are we gonna hold this off until next year? I don't even know. So, homegirls, because you know Rhea and Bianca are homegirls. So, Rhea got on the mic and she said, Bianca, you do understand that you're lucky, right? You do understand that instead of choosing you, I chose Charlotte Flair. But that does not mean that we don't have unfinished business. You do know that I can beat the brakes off of you. And so, Belair said, yeah, that's cool. But somewhere down the line, we will run into each other. So, after that, next thing you know, Liv Morgan and Raquel came out because they was having a quote-unquote tag team #1 contendership match. Last I checked, what was the whole point of the showcase match? Because Ronda and Shayna won that match, right? So that declared them being the #1 contenders. Yet they have the two losers come out here, Liv Morgan and Raquel, against Damaged Goods. And the word on the street was Bayley was in the back, but Vince McMahon made sure she didn't come out. Listen, y'all. They just don't care. They don't care about the women. They don't care. I'm just telling you. I'm trying to tell y'all the truth. They don't care. If they cared, they would put forth an effort. This matchup was a complete waste of time. Nobody cared about it. Nobody was rooting for neither one of these groups. Damaged Goods are dead. Liv Morgan and Raquel, who gives a crap? I mean, don't nobody care. Don't nobody give a care about neither one of these groups because they're not built right. And I'm going to be honest with you, Raquel Rodriguez, I told you. The young lady still needs to improve on her in-ring work. I'm not really invested. Liv Morgan is okay. You know, Dakota and Io Sky, you know they're going to be all right. But like I said, it was nothing. Audience was half into it, and Liv Morgan and Raquel ended up winning it again. So then you got the Miz getting ready to come out there. He comes out. He basically ridicules Pat McAfee, George Kittle, Shane McMahon, and Snoop Dogg because they all quote-unquote gained up on him and all this stuff. And he said, I'm done with all the surprises and I'm not hearing all this stuff. Next thing you know, Weed/Crack Man comes back. Yes, I said that. Let me tell y'all something. Now, look, I was kind of curious about Matt Riddle. Now, when I say that, I was like wondering how was he going to transition when he first came into it. And I actually gave Matt Riddle a chance until I found out about him being a part of the whole Me Too movement and all this other crazy stuff. Well, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Have y'all ever checked to see if any famous wrestler or anybody has you blocked for any other reason? Found out Matt Riddle has me blocked. Never said a word to him or anything. However, I associate with people who can't stand his guts. So, therefore, I guess he vanity searched people talking about him. And I guess he seen me and he blocked me because I can't go to that man's page for nothing. So, this dude, like I said, I really don't care about Matt Riddle. I was on his bandwagon at first until all the foolishness came out and all that stuff. His behind come back with all the flowers and the birds and all this high crap. And I'm like, I say, ain't this how it is? Ain't this exactly how, anytime you come back, who's the first few cats always have you with? And if I'm not mistaken, didn't he already deal with The Miz? Why should we care about The Miz versus Matt Riddle? We shouldn't. It's stupid. It's a waste of time, ladies and gentlemen. It's a waste of time. But that's the next few, ladies and gentlemen. So, he just gave a recap of everything that happened to Bad Bunny by Judgment Day. So then Byron Saxton interviews all the ladies, Becky, Lita, and Trish. And I'm going to be honest with you. They didn't sound convincing at all. I mean, it's good to see Lita and them and Trish and all of them. But, I mean, those tag team titles don't mean nothing. They are a waste of time, ladies and gentlemen. Because you know Vince McMahon don't care nothing about no tag team wrestling. Everybody was like, oh, they don't, man. Like I said, the girls said what they said, and they said they looking forward to facing Raquel and Liv Morgan next week, and I'm like, it is what it is. So the bloodline take about 15 minutes to get to the entrance. They get to the ring. Took like 14 million years because the whole entrance was in picture by picture. Now, y'all hear me all the time going in on AEW. AEW does picture by picture way too much. WWE does it, but they hardly do it. So that's why I don't really get on their case when they do it. AEW, they do it for everything. Every time they go to commercial, it's doggone picture by picture. So they took like 15 minutes just to get to that. I said, man, the clock is running. I said, we're not even going to have time for a match, right? Brock and Cody come out there. They introduce everybody. They introduce Roman and Solo first. Then they introduce Brock. And I said, you already, ladies and gentlemen, people is acting shocked. Like, as I'm like, y'all know what's going to happen. Y'all know what's about to happen. They introduce Brock first. And then as soon as they get ready to introduce Cody, they introduce Cody. Cody goes and stands in front of Brock. And then he kind of goes back. And then Brock charges for him. Next thing you know, F5. And then the audience was like, oh, no. They said things just not going well for Cody. I said, ladies and gentlemen, y'all should already know the name of the game. They're doing the same exact script they did with John Cena. And you got to remember, this is Triple H we're talking about. Because people talk about Vince McMahon. I told you, it's a twofold thing. It ain't just Vince. It's also Triple H. Triple H, remember what Cody Rhodes did? Oh, yeah, you the same fool that smashed the throne at AEW, right? I ain't forgot about that. You got to really go against the big man right here. So that's the food. I know everybody said we wanted that man to struggle. But I mean, you could have done something completely different. You could have had something more creative than going back to the same exact storyline that you did back in 2012. No creativity, ladies and gentlemen. No creativity. No creativity. I'm like, does Cody have more sympathy? Sure. But if they want to do this right, here's my deal. If they want to do this right, it all depends on how well does Brock work with Cody. Because y'all know Brock does not like to work well with others. He doesn't. When I say that, I'm talking about wrestling wise. He always come in there and do. I got to give him props. Even with the match not being the best match, he did what he was supposed to do with Omos. But I'm talking about with everybody else. He picks and chooses when he wants to quote unquote be a team player. So whatever they plan on doing with him and Cody, I hope the matchup is good. I hope what they do is compelling television, and whenever they plan on doing the matchup is fine. You know, this way this keeps Cody away from the championship. I know a lot of people was mad. You seen the entire timeline was all he getting ready to go back to AEW. He got Tony Khan on speed dial and all this crazy stuff. I'm like, hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. This is what you wanted. You wanted to come back here. You don't want to stay. You don't want to stay in AEW land. You don't want to potentially go up for the main championship, even though you don't want to book yourself where you couldn't go up for the championship. That was your decision. Where you stayed in TNT title territory. That was you. Purgatory. That was you. Now look. Now the real struggle started. Now you got to go through the Fruity Pebble storyline. That's why so many cats like my main man Jeff, OTR Essential, called you Fruity Pebbles 3.0. I mean, he has every right to say that. And I agree 1,000% with him. Cody Rhodes is turning into the next scene, whether we like it or not. You know? But, hey, it is what it is. Like I said, that was Monday Night Raw. Like I said, Raw is just too long, ladies and gentlemen. Raw is too freaking long. It's too long. 3 hours is too much. Go back to that 2 hours 15 and you find you cut all the bull jive out. Get all the bull jive out the way. You put the more important, relevant stuff on TV, and then you go from there. Not this I'm trying to drag and just have random matches, stuff that don't make no sense, stupidity. I told you the positives out the show. The Damian Priest, Dominic, Rey Mysterio, and Bad Bunny, that was the bright spot. Roman being on this, anytime Roman on the show, that's great. Anytime Roman pulls up, that's great, you know. And that was about it. That was like the main positives right there. You know, I didn't care nothing about no Matt Riddle and Miz, and like I say, the women. It's unfortunate you want to care about the women, but they just don't make you care about them. That's them. That's the promoters. That's the bookers. That's Vince and Triple H doing. They make you not care about the women. Like I said, so many people's like, man, this is the worst show ever. This is the worst this, the worst that. I'm like, man, y'all say that about every episode of Raw. Y'all pick and choose when y'all want to say something decent. Like I said, every week, it's the same old. I mean, it is what it is, man. Listen, this is your boy K. Seville, King Self for Life Wrestling Takes. Hit the comment section up Hey, I'll talk to y'all cats later. Y'all already know if there's any breaking news or something. Y'all know I'm coming through with the goods. I'm coming through with the facts. I'm coming through with that straight truth. This your boy Kingsville, Kingsville for life. Make sure you hit the like button. Hey, we moving up 224 strong. I appreciate all the new subscribers coming through, checking all the content out. Hey, we gonna keep this thing growing. I'll talk to y'all cats later. Holla at your boy.